Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Warren here. In the next few weeks we're going to be confirming some of our younger folk into membership here at Kabiga Presbyterian Church. And as part of their vows, they'll need to profess that they believe in the Apostles' Creed. What is the Apostles' Creed? The Apostles' Creed is an early Christian statement which was devised to help define correct belief. There is one line in the creed that has caused considerable debate amongst both scholars and lay people, and it's the one that says that he, that's Jesus, descended into hell or Hades. And there's been different views, as I said, over the years on that. But as a good Reformed Christian, let's look briefly at what that great reformer John Calvin had to say about this in his Institutes. And I've got a copy of his Institutes here, and I've been reading this on off, and it's a nice thick volume, as you can see. At the outset, let me say that Calvin does not preclude or exclude a literal descent into hell, into literal hell with divine vengeance. But his take on it is found in the Institutes, Book 2, Chapter 16 and Paragraph 8. The line "he descended into hell" is of course not found in any of the earliest versions of the Apostles' Creed. However, although this line is of dubious origin, Calvin said we must not discount it. We must not throw it out, because it is something very important to say to us about our Christian faith, about the death of Christ and his full work of redemption for us on the cross. Calvin rejects the view that Christ descended into hell or Hades to suffer the full extent of human sin, because he says that was finished at the cross. Calvin also rejects the idea that he descended to hell to proclaim victory over devils, and also not to free the righteous dead from Hades. Calvin argues that Jesus' descent into hell was not merely descending into physical death and the grave. He believes that it represents the biblical teaching that Jesus suffered not only bodily pain, but also the torments of a soul in hell, cut off from God's presence, and that what such a soul would experience. For Calvin, it all has to do with Christ's experience of the divine wrath and vengeance of God. So the weight of hell for Calvin is Jesus' suffering in our place, because he was a perfect man who had no sin. He had a perfect relationship with the Father. When Jesus died on the cross, he experienced not only in his body, but also in his soul, the wrath and the vengeance of God against sin. And what is hell? How is hell properly defined? It is the wrath of God's justice, his judgment against sin, and to the extent that Christ is standing in our place as substitutionary atonement, he is experiencing the full weight of God's wrath and judgment and anger against sin. He bore all the punishments that evildoers were supposed to bear, that they ought to have sustained. On the cross, Jesus felt like a soul in hell. Not only that Christ's body was given as the price of our redemption, but that he paid a greater and more excellent price in suffering in his soul the terrible torments of a condemned and a forsaken man. Therefore, for Calvin, Christ descended into hell insofar as he experienced this full fury of God's wrath upon him as a substitutionary sacrifice for sins. Friends, I hope in some way that has helped to clarify that line in the Apostles' Creed. He descended into Hades, or hell, and some versions even say descended to the dead. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. God bless you. Keep you safe.